Hello everyone, welcome to Brainbox Notion. I'm Yusuf Musa Uba. In today's video, we'll be exploring a game-changing feature in CostX, which is Smart Takeoff. So this feature leverages AI-level precision to streamline your quantity takeoff processes, helping you to achieve accurate results in a fraction of the time. If you are tired of tedious manual measurement, this tutorial is for you. I will guide you through how to use smart takeoffs to identify, measure, and quantify elements with just a few clicks. You will learn how to set up your dimension group, adjust your variation, and apply logical, mathematical, and string functions to boost your efficiency. So whether you are working on a detailed project with multiple layers or a simple floor plan, you will see how this feature can save you hours of work while maintaining top-notch accuracy. We'll also cover tips and tricks for maximizing this tool to its full potential, including how to fine-tune measurement, avoid common pitfalls, and also ensure takeoffs are error-free. By the end of this tutorial, you have the knowledge and skill to create highly precise takeoff that rival manual methods without the time sink. If you find this video helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on more tutorials like this. So the first page you will see when you open your CostX is this. So when you have a previous work or project, it will display here in order for you to select or create a new project. So for this video, we are going to create a new project. So just go to new building, then you insert the name of the project you want to create. Then we'll say propose, let's call it propose tutorial, propose YouTube tutorial. Then you can put the building code, the project type, and the building type. I'll put it at default. The building type, let's say residential. Residential building or residential development. So all other information, you can leave it blank, but you can fill it if you want to. Then the next thing is when you see after this tab, you have another tab here which said standard dimension groups. These are my own dimension groups. So I'm going to guide you on how to create your own dimension group. So whenever you want to start a new project, you have the ability to import your previous dimension group. Those are your standard dimension group, which I'm going to explain those in details later in the video. So we are going to import some here. So I'm just going to click and select all dimension group. Then insert. So here are my dimension group area. Then these are my drawing area. And this is the workbook view area when you create a workbook. So here in the home tab, you can see that most of these icons are gray because we did not import our drawing yet. So in order to see most of these things, you have to import your drawing before you can see. So how to import a drawing in a CostX is you go under drawing tab, drawing area, and you click on add. It will take you to your folder. So this is the drawing we are going to use for this tutorial. Let me select architectural drawing. You click. So here are the list of pages for this PDF file. So I'm not going to import just a single one. So I'm going to select all. So when you select all, this is the name of the folder. You can decide to change it. It says the data center architectural. Then the base unit of measurement is millimeters. The file name and also the folder. So we are going to create a folder for this because we have architectural, we have mechanical and electrical, and we have HVAC, we have structural. So when you want to import your drawings, it is good to categorize them in a folder. So I'm going to create a folder for this. I'll call it architectural drawings. And this is the drawing multiplier, which you don't need to worry about that for now. I will explain that in details later. Then you click OK. You can see our drawing has been imported, and all other tabs now are being displayed. You can see all other tabs now are being displayed. So that's how to import your drawing in a CostX. So in CostX, before you start any takeoff, you have to create a new dimension group. But before that, let me go through the ribbon and tabs. Here we have a place where you can add your drawing, the properties, the compare. If you want to compare between two drawings, maybe there is a variation or or a demolition work that you want to compare, or there is an update in the drawing. Then these are the layers. You want to show all the layers, or if you want to invert the layers, I will show you how to use layers later on. Then these are the file layers. Then these are the reset view if you want to reset your view. Then here is the rotate. You want to rotate the page. Then zoom extension, and then zoom area. Then here is to add dimension group if you want to add dimension group. Then here is to export dimension group. You want to export your dimension group. Then here is the workbook area if you want to create a workbook, which I will show you later on too in the video. Then the next one is the drawing tab. There are some of these things being displayed here for easy access on the home tab. They are being displayed here for easy access in the home tab. So here we have the drawing area too, where we have the same properties, the same art drawing. We have the drawing set. This allows related drawings to be specified as being part of a set. Then we have the report. We want to create a report. We have the working area. Then we have the calibrate y-axis, calibrate x-axis, and reset calibration. So this is where you scale your drawing. If you want to scale the y-axis, if you want to scale the x-axis, or if you want to rescale again, or you reset and then rescale again. Then this is where you show your layers. I will show you how to use layers later on. You can hide your layers, you can invert them, you can show all. Then this is where you reset your view. If it is, you can rotate it 900 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees. Then this is where you zoom in, you zoom out. Then this is where you save your view if you want to save your view. Then this is the text, the hatching. Then this is where you change your background. Maybe if this color is not too visible, you can change the background to black. You can see, and you switch. CostX has that ability to switch between displays, either white or black. For those who have sight issue, you can choose to use black and so on, but I'll leave it at white for this video. Then some other thing, then this is where you also compare your drawing. If you want to compare between two drawings, then measure distance if you want to take your distance. Then view in 3D. I'll also explain this in details, because in CostX, you can also view your drawings in 3D. You can view your 2D drawings in 3D, or after taking off, you can view it in 3D in order to see the areas where you measured correctly, or to see the deductions in the drawing. Then the next one is the dimension tab. So in here under the dimension tab, this is where you create your dimension group, and these other areas are gray because you need to create a dimension before you show them. Then this is where you choose between line and point. I will show you how to use this line and point later on. And then this is where you create your label, your markup, then properties on add. I'll explain this later on in the video. Then here we have the revisioning. If you want to revision a drawing, then here we have the workbook area. If you want to create a workbook, then here we have the contractors tab. This is where you export, import, make preferred, use estimate, compare between two tenders, and so on. So let's go back. So this is our site plan, and also CostX supports many different type of file. You can import CAD format, which is AutoCAD format. You can import PDF. You can import image files. can import different type of file. So CostX supports many type of file. Before we start our takeoff, I will show you how to work with layers. You can see we have layers here. So it is very important to know how to work with layers. So let's say, for example, when you have a PDF file, it comes with layers, and also an AutoCAD file comes with layers. So the only file that does not come with layer is the image file. So in that, you don't have the layer, you don't have the ability to use layers. So in here now, this is a floor plan. Let's say, for example, I want to take off for all the furnitures. I can use the layer to separate all the furnitures from the drawing in order to have a clean takeoff, to be able to count it properly. So let's say I want to hide all these sanitary fittings. I want to measure these sanitary fittings. So I can use the layer to hide them and then take off for them separately. So let me show you how to use layers. When you want to separate this and measure them separately, and just go to your layer tab. When you hover to this place, go to your layers and then click once. You can see it disappears. It is gone from the drawing. So if you want to see this, then you just go to invert layers, click on invert. You can see these are the total number of sanitary fittings that we have. This is the WC, this is the wash hand basin, this is the WC, and also this is the wash hand basin and WC. So that's how you work with layers. You can invert again, then you can show all if you want to. So that's how you work with layers. So let's go back. So before we start our takeoff in CostX, the first thing to do is to create a dimension group. So here I have some dimension group, but before we use my own dimension group, I'm going to show you how to create a dimension group. So if you want to create a dimension group, you go under dimension or under the home tab to create your own dimension group. You can create it from here or from here. So let me click on new dimension group. You can see dimension group properties. So in here we have the properties, we have the costume quantities, we have the variables, we have the BIM dimensions. So this is when you want to take off for 3D. Then we have the measured dimensions. This is for 2D. So these are mostly the advanced tools that you can use in order to streamline your quantity takeoff. So I'm just going to create a simple dimension group. Let's call this count. Let's say doors and windows or sanitary fittings. Let's say count of WC. You can call it WC, give it a name. And here we have where you want to, if you want to create a folder for this, which you can see under my dimension group, I have a folder for mechanical, substructure, and superstructure. So for this, I'm not going to create a folder, but you can create a folder for yours. Just create a folder. This is so just create a folder for yours. So the next thing now is the measurement type. So we said we are going to measure for count, which is count of WC, and the measurement type is in area. So this is where you change it. If you want to use area, if you want to measure linear, if you want to measure count. So when you click this, you can see you have count, you have length, you have volume, you have area. So for this, we are going to create a dimension group for count. So I'll just click count. You can see the default type is count. The default multiplier, don't worry yourself for now. When we go to the advanced takeoff, you understand how to use the multipliers. The default width is 0, 0, 0. Then add to gross floor area, also leave that blank. So let's just create a folder for this. We'll call it MEP, which is mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. Then click OK, and then click insert. So you can see we have our new dimension group. So we can use this to measure the sanitary fittings and count the number of sanitary fittings. So like I showed you earlier about the layers, so we can just go to this and then click this, and then invert. and then measure all this. So CostX has this feature of auto search and then auto count. So you can use your auto count to measure this in the drawing. So let me show you how to use the auto count. When you go back to your drawing, you see here you have the auto count area here, and you click. Then in here you have show matches above and auto accept above. I'll explain that to you later on. So this is where you capture the image that you want CostX to search for. And you click on capture and then highlight the area. So you can see I've highlighted the area for CostX and I will click on search. So the CostX is going to search this image in the whole drawing. So the essence of using layers is for you to limit the error and increase your accuracy, so that when you filter the drawing, the easier CostX will be able to search for all these items that you need to count. So I'll click on auto count. I'll allow CostX to search the drawing for the items. So you can see CostX has found 1, 2, 3, 4, has found a total matches of 9 and matches currently accepted is 8. So if you can see, we counted WC, but CostX somehow identified this as WC. The reason why is because here this auto accept above and show matches above, the percentages, I reduce the percentages. So the more I increase the percentage, you see, I need it to find a accurate match. So the more I highlight, the more it will go for an accurate match. You can see all those things are gone. So the more I highlight, you can see, if you want it to be very accurate, that's how you reduce it. So for now, show matches above, then auto accept the above. We'll reduce this to 70%. You can see 70%, it captures only the WC. But when I reduce this, it's going to capture more than that. You can see it's accept more than that. So we'll leave it like this. So we have a total number of 6 WCs. So these are wash hand basins. We are not going to accept this as a WC. Then when you click accept, matches currently accepted is 6 numbers. So when you click save accepted, it is going to save this it is going to save this takeoff. So when I click accept and then go back to dimension group, you can see our WC now is 6 number. So that's how you search in CostX. You can see it has highlighted the count. So we can just invert. You can see in our drawing or show all. You can see we have our WC are being counted. So that's how you create a dimension group for a count. So the next thing now, I will show you how to create a dimension group for an area before we move to the advanced takeoff. So when you want to create a dimension group for area, still the same process. It is still the same process. You go back. So we'll say we'll call this floor area or GFA, gross floor area. We can leave it in the same folder for MEP because I'm going to delete it later on. Then the measurement type, which is area, we can leave this as area because we are going for area. Then I'll click insert. So you see we have our area. So when you want to measure for an area in CostX, you have 2 options. You have the point and the line area. When you have your geometry turn off, this will help you identify points and also increase your precision and accuracy. This also improves your accuracy. So for this, I'm going to start with point. So see, So after this, I can just click enter, and you can see CostX will calculate the whole area and then give me the total square area. You can see we have 0.002 square meter. The reason why we are having this is because we did not scale our page before we start this takeoff. So you can either scale it automatic or you scale it manually. So let's see if the drawing is to scale. Okay, the scale is scale 1 is to 100. So let's go back to drawing and then scale this. So we can scale it manually or we can scale it using automatic. So let's scale this x-axis. Let's scale this y-axis first and see whether we'll have a change in our drawing, our takeoff. So click on x-axis and then we measure the distance. It's from this point, and the distance is 11.27 meters from this point to this point, and it shows that from that point to that point is 77.68 mm, while the actual measurement is 11.270, and then click OK. All dimension on this drawing will be updated to apply new calibrations. Yes, you need to apply this. This may take several minutes if there's many dimension group. Just with the talk. You want to continue? Yes, I want to continue. Then click OK. You can see our quantity now has changed. We see that we have the area to be 58.67 square meter. We have the linear which is the perimeter, to be 30.68, and the number of counts to be 1. So you can see. So this is how you measure for area and also how you scale your page. So this dimension group now that you have created, so CostX gives you the ability to copy dimension group. Let's say, for example, this place and this place has the same unit, this place and this place. So you can copy this dimension group to this area. So when I go under dimension group, I can copy dimension and then paste dimension. You can see, and I can move it to where I want it. Let's say I'll move it to this point and then drop it here. So this is how you copy dimension instead of remeasuring this dimension. So this is how you copy dimensions. Okay. That's all. Let's go now and create a dimension group for the linear. So we'll still go under dimension group. So we can call this block work or get. Let's just say get, because for us to take the block work, we have to add the height. So let's just say we are looking for the get. I'll still leave it under same folder. Then we'll change it from area to length. All other things remain default. Then you click enter. So when you want to measure for the linear, you can use, I'm going to show you how to use the line mode and the point mode. So let's start with the point mode. We have already calibrated this page, so we'll be using this for the demo. So you can see this is the length, 10.183. Measure this again, measure this. So this is how you measure your linear. You can see our total guard is 34 meters. That's from this point, and this point is 34 meters. So continuously, that's how you're going to create your takeoff. So when you switch between these two, when you switch is, let me show you. CostX now will be picking the whole area for you. You can see, instead of measuring point to point, it's going to be selecting the whole area for you. So this is easier and faster. As you can see, CostX will select the whole area for you. Want to add this, want to add this, and then add this. This is how you measure for length. I will then click stop for this. Then you can change between positive and negative. Let's say, for example, we have a door area here and you want to deduct this from your takeoff. Then you can click on negative and then measure this negative. But I'm going to switch to point in order to measure this. Measure this point. This point. So these are negative. Then I'll now switch to both. You can see. So when I go back to my view in 3D, which I said I'm going to show you later on, you can see I view it in 3D. But the reason why it is like this is because I did not add the wall height. So the moment I add the wall height, it's going to show you the real 3D form of this takeoff that we did. So when we get to block work, I will show you how to add the height and also do some other advanced takeoffs. So let's go back to floor plan. So the next dimension group, I'm going to show you how to measure for the basics. We are going with the basics for now before we move to the main advanced dimension groups and AI level precision takeoffs. So I'll just go through the advanced takeoff a bit, but in our next video, we are going to go into deep. So when you create a new dimension group, so in here now you have the custom quantities. So let's say, for example, you want to have a sub items that you want to measure under, let's say, floor area. When you measure your floor area, you want to have the let's say for bed, for example, you want to measure your concrete bed. While after measuring your concrete bed, you want to get the quantity for the formwork. Then you want to get the area again and some other things, or maybe the block work within that area. So you can have some custom quantities whereby you add some auto quantities that you want it to generate automatic after measuring a single takeoff. So that's the custom quantities. So if you want to add a custom quantity, this is where you click and then add a custom quantities. Then the next, delete. So the next is the variables. I'm going to explain this later on in details. Then the next one is the BIM dimensions. So we are not, this video is for 2D. When we get to 3D measurement, I'm going to show you how to use this BIM dimension. Then this measured dimension, this is for the 2D. So whenever you create a custom quantity here, it's going to display here in order to give you the ability to put in some formulas, functions, and so on. So let me create a simple custom quantity. Let's say I need concrete volume. Concrete volume. And then choose the unit of measurement to be meter cube. When I go back to my measured dimension, you can see I have a new custom quantity here. It says concrete volume, and the unit of measurement is cubic meter. So here now I can edit this and give it a formula or function. So let's say, for example, you can just click in here. So under this is where the magics happen. We have the dimension fields, we have the dimension group fields, we have the custom quantities, we have the constant. You can see under my constant, I have some constant for rebars. So you can create many constant for your works, which you might decide to be using them as you go on with your work. Then we have the functions. So this is where the AI precision takeoffs takes place. We have the logical, we have the mathematical, we have the string functions. So we'll go into details later on. Then the next we have the properties. You can see the properties, and here we have the variables. You can see here we have a default variable. So we'll go into details later for the variables. So these are the areas where you can make your advanced dimension group or make your advanced quantity takeoffs in CostX. So I'll just close this and also close this. So these are some of the basics you can do, and this is the overview of what we are going to do in our next video. So make sure you subscribe. I will leave the link to download this drawing in the description so that you can use it to practice before we start our advanced quantity takeoff. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on our next video. Thank you.